Next, we want to talk about working with type as far as what we call flush left, center, or flush right. And to do that, you want to make sure you have what's called your paragraph dialog box open. And oftentimes you're going to see this over here to the right. You have a lot of dialog boxes, palettes at your disposal, but you want to make sure you have the paragraph palette open. And so, selecting your type tool, you want to select your type. And if you want to make that type centered, you click on the center icon. As you see, it's going to move around on your document. You can always select the arrow tool, move it back to where it needs to be moved to, and you'll be just fine. Again, if you want to create a right justification, you click on the right flush right icon, in other words, and again, it's going to move that on your document. Don't worry, you can just move it back to where it needs to be moved to. And so, again, you have the capability of doing the flush left, flush right, or center. One thing I want to mention to you, if you are doing creating a document for print, I would focus on just using type what we call a headline type. When that's type that you have usually, at least 12 point or above, that's wonderful for that if you're doing for print, because if you're using a much smaller type and you sent that file to a printer to print a flyer, for example, then that type is going to be what we call pixelated. It's going to have a jagged look to it. And what you really want is to have your type look as crisp as possible. And so I would recommend, just for print, if you focus on just your headline type and the larger type. But if you're doing something for the web, for example, you're okay to use any size that you want, because on the web it really doesn't matter. But again, just keep in mind what you're creating your type for. If it's for print, just focus on headlines. If you're doing it for web, you can use about any size that you need to. But again, keep in mind, if you want to do flush left, center, or flush right, make sure you have your paragraph dialog box open, and that will enable you to create your type in the format that you want to create it in.